It is difficult to go against what the majority believes in. 12 Angry Men follows a group of 12 jurors with varying personalities. These men must decide on a first-degree murder charge. A 19-year-old kid is accused of murdering his father with a switchblade. If this boy is charged with the murder, he must face the death penalty by electric chair. The main evidence for this case being a woman who saw the murder from her window, an older man who witnessed the boy running away from the scene, and the fact that the neighbors heard the boy and father violently arguing a few hours before the murder happened. This leaves us with a decision that the jurors must make. For any final decision, it must be unanimous. If the jury cannot come to a conclusion at a reasonable time, the jury will be considered a hung jury.
11 guilty, 1 not guilty. Well, now we know where we are.
Boy, oh boy, there's always one.
The movie starts with an opening vote, with 11 deciding guilty and only 1 voting innocent. Now everybody has to convince the one member to vote the other way. The movie has a very low budget feel to it since most of the movie is filmed in one room. What the film lacks in special effects and lavish movie sets, it excels at script writing and acting. The script is great since you begin to build a relationship with each juror just as they are building a relationship with each other. This is going to be an in-depth look at the values that the movie represents and who become important leaders that change the outcome of the movie. The first ingredient for the secret blend that is going to be analyzed is integrity. Integrity is what ends up becoming a main topic throughout the movie. In fact, the jurors that show the most integrity end up being the most convincing in their arguments. A person is going to be convincing if what they say is truly what they believe in. Henry Fonda plays juror number 8, who becomes their main leader in the movie. Juror number 8 represents what a true jury member should be like. He questions all evidence thoroughly, he never uses the accused's troubled background as a reason for guilt, and he respects the responsibility that he's given. Anyone with integrity has a set of values that they follow. Juror number 8 has 2 values that he represents, and he sticks with that value. Throughout the whole movie, juror number 8 stays with these values and never contradicts himself. The other jurors end up following those 2 basic values throughout the movie, which creates a great discussion over the case. The book, The Leadership Pill, explains how integrity affects the culture of the team. Integrity is about creating a set of operating values and then living true to them. When a leader's actions embody the organization's values, the result is a value-driven culture, page 40. Open dialogue helps a group come to a better outcome. The more ideas that are represented increases the accuracy of the conclusion. Somebody could think of something that no one else in the group thought of. One example of this happening is when juror number 8, played by Joseph Sweeney, remembers a special detail about a witness that testified.
I'm sure you'll pardon me for this, but I was wondering why you rub your nose like that.
Oh, come on, will you?
At this point, I happen to be talking to the gentleman sitting next to you. Now, why were you rubbing your nose like that?
Well, if it's any of your business, I was rubbing it because it bothers me a little.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it because of your eyeglasses?
It is. Now, couldn't we get on to something else?
Your eyeglasses made those 2 deep impressions in the sides of your nose. I hadn't noticed that before. That must be annoying.
It is very annoying.
Oh, I wouldn't know about that. I've never worn eyeglasses. 20/20.
Listen, will you come on already with the optometrist bit?
The woman who testified that she saw the killing had those same marks on the sides of her nose.
Holy smokes, you know he's right.
This simple detail is what came from having an open dialogue environment. Everyone is able to bring something to the table, and this is a great example of it. Reasonable doubt is brought up a lot in the movie.
Come on, we're home. Nobody's going to change his vote. Let's take it inside.
You still don't think there's room for reasonable doubt?
No, I don't.
Pardon, maybe you don't fully understand the term reasonable doubt.
What do you mean, I don't understand?
A reasonable doubt is when somebody has a good reason for not trusting the facts that are presented to them. If no reasonable doubt is found, then the fact is true. Juror number 8 stays on that idea that if there is any reasonable doubt on any evidence used, that evidence can get thrown out the window. For the whole movie, every piece of evidence is looked at with this core value. This came from juror 8 being the first to adopt this value. Partnership goes hand in hand with the core values that juror number 8 set up. These values pave a road that all of them can follow and come to a logical conclusion. The leadership pill explains that to build a trusting environment, you need to have a set of operating values that guide people's behaviors when they are working on organizational goals. Partnership is formed slowly in the movie, since every member had close to no interest in the case to begin with. They were more worried about what they were going to do after the case than their decision.
Yeah, we can all get out of here pretty quick, huh? I don't know about the rest of you, but I happen to have tickets to that ball game tonight. Yanks in Cleveland. Yeah, we got this kid Modulewski in there. Oh, he's a real bull, this kid. You know. Boom!
Once the jury started to discuss the case, trust was slowly built between the jurors. This is shown throughout the movie by the changes in the voting outcomes. There are not many scenes in the movie where affirmation is shown. However, at the end, juror number 8 comforts upset juror number 3 by helping him with his jacket. Also, juror number 9, the older man, greets juror number 8 and then moves on, showing that there was no hard feelings after the case.
Well, so long. So long.
Ethics are a large focal point in the movie, and poses the dilemma of the jury deciding on a young boy's life. At the beginning, the group of jurors show the highest disregard for the case.
Of course, you know that we have a first-degree murder charge here, and if we vote the accused guilty, we've got to send him to the chair. That's mandatory.
I think we know that.
Yeah, let's see who's where.
How'd you like it?
Oh, I don't know. It was pretty interesting.
I almost fell asleep.
One of the jurors even had a baseball ticket burning a hole in his pocket. Juror 8 thought the case was an important decision, and he really tried to show the severity of the case.
Has anybody here any idea how long it would take an L? This isn't a game.
The type of ethics that Juror 8 is representing is Stage 5 social contract orientation, since he is trying to follow what a juror is legally obligated to do. The ethics are all at the post-conventional morality level, since Stage 6 has a lot to do with individual rights and equality. One juror looks down on the defendant because of his poor background, and the other jurors represent Stage 6 by disagreeing with him throughout the movie.
I don't understand you people. I mean, all these picky little points you keep bringing up, they don't mean nothing. You saw this kid just like I did. You're not going to tell me you believe that phony story about losing the knife and that business about being at the movies? Look, you know how these people lie? It's born in them. I mean, what the heck? I don't have to tell you. They don't know what the truth is. And let me tell you, they don't need any real big reason to kill someone either. No, sir. They get drunk. Oh, they're real big drinkers, all of them. You know that. And bang, someone's lying in the gutter. Well, nobody's blaming them for it. That's the way they are, by nature. You know what I mean? Violent. Where are you going? Human life don't mean as much to them as it does to us. Look, they're lushing it up and fighting all the time. And if somebody gets killed, so somebody gets killed. They don't care. Oh, sure, there's some good things about them, too. Look, I'm the first one to say that. I've known a couple who were okay, but that's the exception, you know what I mean? Most of them, it's like they have no feelings. They can do anything. What's going on here?
The watchmaker is a juror that shows Stage 4 of Kohlberg ethics. He has a high regard for someone doing their duty. He is deliberate in his decisions, and he seems to think a lot about those decisions. An example of this is when the juror with the baseball tickets gets annoyed with the conversation, so he decides to change his vote. The watchmaker notices that he isn't serious about his decision, and he calls him on it.
That's not an answer. What kind of a man are you? You have sat here and voted guilty with everyone else because there are some baseball tickets burning a hole in your pocket. And now you've changed your vote because you say you're sick of all the talking here?
Now, listen, buddy.
Who tells you that you have the right to play like this with a man's life? Don't you care?
Now, wait a minute. You can't talk like that to me.
I can talk like that to you. If you want to vote not guilty, then do it because you are convinced the man is not guilty, not because you've had enough. And if you think he is guilty, then vote that way. Or don't you have the guts to do what you think is right?
Now, listen.
Guilty or not guilty?
The watchmaker also realizes the importance of the case, and he can't seem to believe that someone would make their decision out of senseless spite. The full theme for ethics in the movie would be to follow your social contract as a juror, don't place personal views in deciding a verdict, and be deliberate in your decisions. 12 Angry Men displays how a simple, open discussion can change the course of events. The evidence would not have been looked at the same way, and the conclusions would not be as accurate or fair. All jurors have varying backgrounds from architect to salesman, and everyone had something to bring to the table in the discussion. Juror 8's leadership built a roadmap for how other jurors were going to look at the case's evidence. Although it was important for Juror 8 to lead and get the team going, it was the group that helped make the verdict become more refined.